Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing. If anyone is on here in the chat, just let me know if you can hear you. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Anyways, tech versus tech. I'm gonna do a markup. Some of the pairs that I trade: gold, pound, pound yen. There's a few other, but lately I've been trading mostly in the London session. So any pairs that I mark up are most likely going to be in London session. I do want to look at the USD JPY, so I'm probably going to mark that one up too. But anyways, this is tech versus tech. This is a live stream. I do this every week, Sundays around 7 p.m. The times might change. I'm just kind of playing around with the time to see what I like. And yeah, I'm going to do a markup, and we're going to start it off the right way. This is how we do it. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, straight to the charts, right? So let's do this. All right, so audio's correct. All right, bless. Okay, let's see. Let me get off of this chart here and go back to the stuff that I was looking at before. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this one since I've been actively trading the pound JPY. I probably have to zoom in. I don't know if you can probably see this that good, but let me see what I can do. I'm going to start off with this one. I'm going to make this really simple. I'm going to start off on the weekly, and then I'm going to work my way down to the 1 hour. So here we go. And if you're a new trader and you don't understand anything that I'm doing, don't worry about it. It's kind of one of those things where, like, if you see it enough and then you read the certain books, because I mean, there's certain books out there that will give you a lot of information on trading. One of my cousins even recommends like Candlestick Trading Bible. So yeah, that's a really good one. That's one of the ones that I read and found a lot of information in that. But yeah, so this is how we're gonna start. We're on the weekly, and just gonna take a look at the structure to see if it's still going in my favor. So anyways, this is kind of how there's so many different ways you could trade, but how I look at the structure and what I see here. Let's see, I don't like that. I'll just use this. Okay. So from here, if you look overall on this chart, if I zoom all the way out, this is bullish. You could clearly see that the trend is all the way up, right? Trends is going up. But what I want to do is zoom into where I'm actually trading. So you see all these levels that I put in here. So when I look at this chart, what I see in terms of structure, starting from here, we have this push up here, then we had this correction, and then we had here. Then we had this correction, and it came here, came here, 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 and then pretty much here. Now, anyways, but you got to look at it like this on this when you look at this time frame here, the weekly, a lot of this under here is just noise, right? The main thing that you're seeing, and a lot of times what I do is I'll take that structure and I'll just move it down like this and then see what I see. So mainly the main thing that I pay attention to on this time frame is that I see this right here. You'll probably see it in a second. So you had higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. So the structure broke right here. And when the structure broke right here and came back up, it only was able to get to this level right here. And didn't pass that level. So like what you see here, when we got back up to this level right here, it wasn't able to get any higher. So basically failing to make a new high. And then I seen this bearish candle, right? And then I seen this next candle push down. So looking at this, knowing that it wasn't able to, pass this level, I was already looking for price to just, and then you have to look at it. And then if you look at the actual like full picture, because I didn't show that, maybe I should have showed that first. This is the actual high that we have here. And then price is playing around here. And then we got up to this level. But if you look at the candles and the sizes of it coming down, from here, we're already starting to like push down. So this level here, I'm already looking for it to push down to like around this EMA here. It'll make more sense when I get down to another time frame. If I go down, so basically I'm looking at it like what is happening on each time frame, especially that I have, there's a couple of things that I'm going to look at. I don't know why this is, oh, there we go. I'm going to go down to the daily. It'll make more, it'll be more clear on this time frame. Let's see what I'm looking at. See, on the other time frame, the weekly, it wasn't that clear, but when I go down to the daily, you see that it's already pushing down. So I know on the weekly, I was looking for it to push down, and then on the daily, I'm looking for it to push down because it's already on its way. Like these levels that I put here is for a reason. I've been trading in between these levels, so I'm already expecting it to push down to at least this level right here. And the EMA is just coincidentally just like right. This is the 50 EMA, by the way. But it's likely to push down to this level right here at least. And then I would take like partials for the trade that I'm in. Okay, so I have two time frames that are bearish. And also, like I said, you're going to see the structure more clear, where price was pushing up here, and then it broke the structure under here, and then it came back up to retest this shoulder, and then now it's pushing back down again, right, to at least this level. But I'm looking for it overall, I want it to come down all the way here, but at least when it gets to this midpoint, you probably can't even see. That's the only thing I need to, what I'm going to do is I'll just switch the view so then it's more easier to see. Okay, that's better. Okay, so yeah, this level right here, I was looking for a price to come down here, and then I would probably take partials and then look for it to push down all the way down to this level. But obviously you got to kind of have to see what happens, because there's, other than that overall structure that broke over here and it came down and it came back up, I still want to see some type of structure form over here where it gives me a definite break, so then I know that it's going all the way down. Otherwise, price could just push up again, and then and then that's it. But I have 2 time frames where the price is pushing down, so that's good for me. And then what I would do from there is I'd go down to the 4-hour, and this is where I like what I see. Okay, so this is the one this is like the most clear time frame that I have. So you see over here, right? You have all this consolidation in this level right here. Price was just finding resistance along this level right here, right? Broke, retest, came up. We had a higher high, higher low, higher high, and then it broke structure right here, came up, and wasn't able to pass this zone that I have here. And that's why when I was looking at the time frames to be in sync, being the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour. This was when I saw this time frame and looked at the others, that's when I was like, okay, we're going to start pushing down. So I'll show you where the break is on this time frame. Okay, so on this time frame, we have the break right here, where price pushed up and then broke structure right here, and then now came up, and now I'm looking for it to continue to push down. So that's one thing you got to pay attention is, you got to have a break of structure, and it has to be, when I'm talking about a break of structure, the only reason why I'm even convinced that this is a break of structure is because the body, so not the wick, like these wicks over here, if that wick started from over, let's just say that wick started from up here and came all the way down here, then I wouldn't count it as a break of structure. But the body, especially look at the size of this candle and the momentum that it pushed down, it broke this level here. And still, I still wouldn't, this is a break of structure. So I'm looking for it to push up, but not break this high right here and then start pushing back down, which it did. If after this push down here, if this price, when it got up here, if the body closed above this high right here, then I would basically, this would be null and void. I wouldn't be able to take any, I wouldn't be looking for sells because it would be closing and making a new high above this high. And then there's no break of structure. Then now that's a break of structure back to the upside. So then I have to start looking for buys. And price structure would probably look a lot different if that were to happen. But I'm on a 4-hour right now. Like I said, the structure broke, came up and failed to make a new high. So now I'm looking for setups to go for a sell, which I got in all the way up here. And now we broke under, we're just breaking down. Like I have, if you look at my 1 hour, when you'll see like I had this trend going up. Let me just put this line bigger. So I had this, I had 1 bounce, 2 bounce, and then about a 3rd bounce right here. And then it came up, broke this level and came down. And then if you get even deeper on what's happening over here, this pretty much is kind of like a head and shoulders, if you will. So up here, this is kind of, you got to pay attention to pretty much everything. But over here, you kind of have like you have the left shoulder, the head, right shoulder, break under, retest, and then breaking that trend line and then coming back up to retest the zone and then fall. So this is when I start stacking all of my confluences of why I'm in the sell. That trend line coming up and then getting this pattern, this head and shoulder pattern, breaking that, and then breaking the actual trend line and then retesting this zone. And then the 50 EMA is also coincidentally just coming across here while price is pushing down. So you got to have a number of confluences lining up if you want to take the trade in your direction. There's other things that I look at, but I made a checklist for myself so that like when I'm looking for a trade, there's other things that I can point out. So you have this, you cannot really see good, but I pay attention to like the weekly highs and weekly lows, and then the daily highs and the daily lows, because sometimes price will just come back and test those levels. But anyways, I don't want to get off track. The main thing is we have the weekly, we have the daily, and we have the 4-hour pushing down. Once I get those three things, then I'm looking for sells because they're all pretty much pushing down in the same direction. And then I have my area of interest, which I pointed out, which was for price to it'll dance around here, but I'm looking for it to push down to this level right here. And then I'm going to take partials, and then I'll see what happens at this level. But then eventually I want it to push down here. And this is the level that I don't know it's going to get to. So I'm pretty much just looking for this for now. And then if I see something happen where let's just say it pushes down like this and breaks this and it comes back up and then goes down, then I'd be looking to just hold it, or I could even put in another entry when it gets to this level right here. But that's pretty much what I'd be looking to do. Anyways, that's my markup for the British pound JPY. Eventually, when I'm doing these videos, I don't know how I'm gonna do them yet, but I'll put down like my checklist of how I would what I'd be looking for, because there's something called confluences, right? Like it's not just that I see all the time frames in the same direction and then I'm ready for a trade. I have my own checklist. So just verbally saying some things like, for example, let's go back to the 4 hour. So this is one thing I can show you. Price is making these higher highs in the chart, but when you look on the RSI, it was sort of not making higher highs here, sort of like pushing down, so like a divergence. So that's one thing, seeing that, because this is just a momentum indicator. So as you're seeing price still pushing up, but you're seeing it push down on the RSI, it just means that the push to the upside is getting weaker. And so if I know it's getting weaker, and then I'm seeing all of these different signs of price breaking down, I'm going to be more interested in selling because I see that. So that's just one thing. And then you have like I said, this area that we got up to and then price pushed down and then failed to break this level. Like if you see there's like this resistance here. So when it came down, it made this resistance right here. It couldn't go back up. And then for price to fall, come back, and then hit this resistance again, break down, and come back up and do the same thing and get pushed back down. That's my other thing. Like I'm looking to see where price is reacting. I'm also looking at, I can even just, see what my, so I also look if there's a break and retest. I use Fibonacci to get like a level. I use patterns, like I told you that I saw the head and shoulders pattern around here. I use a 50 EMA to make sure that it's like if I'm looking for sells, then I want it price to break down under the EMA, because you see how it's supporting. You see how it's supporting. You see how it's supporting all the way up. EMA is supporting all the way up, and then price breaks under it. So I'm looking at that too as well. Sometimes I find like double tops. You just have to have a number of different things that are your confluences. Like you build your own list of confluences, and then when you have a list, just use that to base your thesis or your bias of where you want the price to go. Anyways, I'm pretty much done with GJ, and I already had most of it marked up, so it's not really like a fresh markup. I didn't want to do fully from scratch, but I'll also look at, let's see. Oh yeah, I was looking at USD JPY. Yeah, this one's one. Oh, there's way too much happening on here. Okay. I'm going to remove some of this so we can see. So anyways, I'm going to do the same thing. Start from the weekly. So weekly is bullish. It's like it's been pushing up, right? So making new highs. Okay, good. Then when we got to this level here, let me just make sure. Okay, so this is the area that I was paying attention to. This is a break of structure to the downside, but at the same time, this is where you can get faked out. You see this area right here? This structure matters too, these little ones, and sometimes this part here can throw you off. Because even though it broke this to go down, then you have this little structure right here. This doji shouldn't really count, but you gotta, when you see something like this and you're not sure if it broke to go back up, if it never broke this area right here, then you just kind of have to see what happens when it gets to this level. Like, that's why I have this zone here, because if I see like price get rejected, like how it got rejected right here, if we see some type of reversal candle in this area, which I don't see anything, it looks like it broke above it, right? But if we get something like a rejection to go down, like we got this doji here. I'm gonna look at this on the daily and see if it's more clear. If it's not clear, then you just don't trade it at all. But at the same time, like this one is not fully clear to me. I know that it broke, like I said, I know that it broke structure right here. And then I was expecting it to come up to this level here and then start pushing down. That's why I have this arrow here. But it didn't do that. It kind of went a little higher. So in order for me to want to get involved here, I did put this trend line here so I could map it on the way up. Right? So, but it kept on making new highs. And then even this trend line that I have here, it broke that, came back up and retested this zone. So that's the thing. Even though I had, like I said, I had that break of structure at the bottom, I didn't get the reaction that I wanted at this level. It broke above, now it retested. So now I'm looking for it to even go higher. I'm going to pause this for a second. By the way, people, and I'm going to be right back. Okay, so yeah, in this area right here, I'm looking for a buy here. Pretty sure if I go down. One thing I'm going to do in this new year is I promise my charts are going to be more clean, because when you have too much lines, it gets messy and that's annoying. But anyways, the move right here that I'm looking for, so price retraced down to this 61.8, and then the target would be up here. So I put a TP around here. So what I'm looking for is some type of, well, first of all, there's this structure point right here. If we can close exactly, Cam, exactly. If we can close above this line here, like if we can get this, and then start pushing up, and then, well, there's this level right here. There's going to be resistance here, obviously. So, but eventually I want to see it get up to there. And we're going to come back and we're going to check this. This is USDJPY. So this is one that I feel good about, this push up, only because, like I said, price broke above this zone. And if we go back on the 4-hour, so this is why I'm respecting, like, so you see we had this resistance back here, and then we had this resistance right here, we had this resistance right here. Price was struggling right around here. Then we had support over here. It broke down, and then it struggled here, and then finally found support on this level here. So that's why I want it to push all the way up to this level, right? And then you see right here, look where this 61.8 is, which would be the TP. And also this is a daily resistance. I have this line here. I have this monthly foundation level here. So even if I draw a zone here, see where price is struggling around this area, like when we hit this target, it's going to be around this same area. So to me, this is giving me confidence that we'll push up to at least this area right here. Yeah. Um, that's how that's how I look at the chart. What I'm gonna start doing too is when I do these breakdowns on the weekend, I'll probably just talk about stuff crypto related too. Because I really wanted to, when I actually was making the channel, I was actually thinking about doing more crypto related blockchain stuff. And then, but trading was what I was getting into. So it'll be right that I just talk about like both things. So I'll probably do like half and half. But yeah, this is my USD JPY, and then I said that I had the British pound. Um, I could look at gold. I haven't been trading gold lately, and the reason why is because the way that I used to trade it, and then I learned some new things. I didn't want to continue trading it that way. So now the way that I trade it is I scale out to, I do my top down from the weekly all the way down, and then I find all of these levels, and then I trade between these levels. And the reason why they're different colors is because some of these levels are stronger than others, meaning like some of them are the ones that I find on the weekly, some of them are the ones I find on the daily or the 4 hour. I mark up all those levels. And then if you notice, price has been respecting these levels, like even in here, it came up to that level, broke back down. You see how it's just reacting to all of these levels. So I know that they're correct. But I'm still back testing to just make sure that, because the thing is, you can put levels all day, but in terms of like finding the right entries, that's why I kind of took a break on gold, and I found it easier to trade some of these other forex pairs. But what's happening next week? Let's look at news since we're here. Right now we're in, what is it, the 10th? So next week we have a few red folders. New Zealand. Some of these, like, I avoid certain news, right? Like the ones like CPI, non-farm payroll, unemployment, the ones that I know that, and then like the Fed, when the Fed is speaking, I avoid some certain news because price could just go crazy. But I do agree that a lot of times I see the news follow the actual technical, the analysis, and then it just pushes it price to whatever your target is. But some of these other ones that I'll see, like this inflation expectation and some of these other ones, I just trade through them because there's so much news. Every day there's news, right? So I would just rather just trade them and then just have a proper stop loss and just like not worry about the news. You can't just avoid all of it because then you're not going to trade. So it's just the ones that I know that are going to move crazy. Those ones I'll take a break during that time. I'm not trying to mess around with certain news. But yeah, that's what's happening next week. Like I said, the ones that I'll probably avoid is unemployment claims, the Fed, and I'm not really going to be trading. Besides USD JPY, I'm probably not going to trade anything else that's US, and mostly I'll be trading like the London session pairs, and a few what do you call it, Asian session. So I'm not really worried about the news that much. Yeah. Maybe I could do one more pair, and then the next one the way how I'll do it is I'll do it from, I'll find like a blank pair and just kind of show you how I would mark it up going into next week. Let's do that. So I'm gonna find something in London session. Let me just start on the monthly, on the weekly, and see if I actually like. Oh, this one I did the other day. No, let me find something else. Okay, this one. Maybe the euro. Let's look at the euro Swiss franc. That one's ugly. I don't like that one. This one's not bad. All right, we're gonna do this one. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Okay, so this is the Aussie Swiss franc. So we're gonna start from the beginning. So normally what I do, open the chart. Let me just I'm getting rid of everything that's on here. And first I'm gonna zoom all the way out. So we can see clearly that price is pushing down. All the way down there. Yeah, price is pushing down. I'm not paying attention to the noise, just the overall what I'm seeing. Price is pushing down, right? So, but then I'm going to zoom in to see if there's any structure points that are broken, because this is the part that matters. So you have get to the lowest point is here. So from here, it started pushing up. That was the highest high. In terms of the body, not talking about the wicks, just the body. This is the highest point right here. Price failed to make a new high here, came down, broke the structure that's there. And you see this level here where it was having resistance. It was only able to push up to this level, and then it just broke down here. So right now, this right now is considered bearish. So I know the weekly time frame. I know the weekly time frame is bearish. So we're gonna put weekly is, I'll just put yeah, bearish. Okay. Then I'm gonna go down to, that's all I care about right now. Because if you're trading only like 2-3 pairs, then you can do all your lines and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not gonna waste my time and do all the lines only to find out that the time frames are not in sync, and then I'm just wasting my time marking up the pair. So I just do this quickly on the pairs that I want to trade, right? So weekly is bearish. I go down to the daily. I'm gonna zoom out and just check to see if I find anything different. So the majority of it is the same. You know, you had this push up here, failed high, came down, body closed underneath this level right here. It was bearish when it got to this level. And then you had this push up. And then push down. Push up. But then you have a level kind of in here. So technically when it closed above this level, you would think, okay, yeah, it's bullish. But the next candle, See, this is what they call like a rejection of a level here. When you see these two candles, as soon as it went up, the next candle closed all the way down underneath that level that's right here. So this is kind of like a fake out. It's like, okay, you see it close above here, and then you have people that do the breakout buying that would buy right here. And then next thing you know, they're right back in drawdown. So this to me is still bearish because of like the way that these candles form. But anyways, so I'm looking at this one is as still bearish, right? And because it still didn't make a new high above the level that's there. There's other confluences that I could see, but I mean that's a lot to really explain. Like you see, this is the like this is very faint, but you can see like a dotted line here. That's the weekly high and a weekly low of 3 weeks ago. This is a weekly high, weekly low of 2 weeks ago. This is a weekly high, weekly low of last week. So seeing that price broke above the weekly high, but then closed back under it, like that's just showing me that it was a rejection. It was of going any higher. But anyways, yeah. So that's the daily. And then now what I'm gonna, just to confirm this. So, okay. Like I said, now I have two time frames bearish. And this is just, again, this is just how I look at the market. People trade the way that they trade, and I might even be wrong. That's how this thing works, right? It's just, I'm just on my journey. I'm practicing what I know and what I've been studying. And yeah. So now I'm going to go down to the 4-hour. And this is where I'll get more details. So okay, let's just look at what's happening in here. Currently, like if we look at, let's draw some lines in here. So we had this trend here that it broke above. And then here, so there was, let me try that again. Sometimes you got to zoom in to make sure that the level that you're seeing is correct. Okay, so then that did break to the upside. So we had to break a structure right here to go up. And this was definitely a break structure to go up. So this is where I need to start paying attention, because I have bearish on the weekly, I have bearish on the daily, but I don't have bearish on the 4-hour yet. So what I need to see in order for me to get into this trade is that somehow in this area here, I would need to see, like, let's just say like price came up here and then started pushing down again and then broke and then started going down, I would have to look for some sign that it's breaking down here. But this is a trade that I would not be interested in because currently the 4-hour is not bearish. So there's no sell setup for me to take. And then see, that's another way. That's another thing. Like, unless I get them all three pointing in the same direction, it's okay for like one to be, it's okay for the 4-hour to be bullish, but then it's about to turn around and be bearish, and then I see a setup. But in this one I have to wait it out a lot more just to see if I can find anything. So I wouldn't, like I said, so I'm just seeing that. I'm not interested in trading anything on this pair until I see some type of breakdown, because right now where it is, we're in this kind of like area right here. Like, this could push up above here and then start going higher. So I'm not interested in this pair. See, that's what I do. Like, I just go through them and see if the higher time frames are in the same direction, and then if it's not, then I just won't trade it. Eventually I'll probably just pick like 2 or 3 pairs that I just trade all the time. But for now, I like trading multiple, because when I do it this way, I can find setups that I like right away. Or not right away. I kind of have to, it's a lot of work because you have to go through all of them. But you can find setups that are ready to go, because I don't trade the small time frames anymore. I wait. It's kind of like a swing trade, but I can still get out of the trade early. Like, I can find a setup on the, say, the 4-hour, and then look for like an entry on the 1-hour, and then I don't have to stay for it to go all the way to the TP. I can just exit the trade earlier, as long as I have like at least a 1-to-3 ratio, then it's fine. Trading tip. Also, when you find the pair that you're trading, you also have to trade it in the right session. So even if I'm saying right now that I found something on the, like a euro pair, like let's just say I found a trade setup on the euro Swiss franc, I'm not looking to enter it until like after 2 o'clock. Before I was like, okay, so London session starts, I think, 3 o'clock now. Let's double check. This is actually a good site, by the way. Forex market hours. So London session starts at 3 o'clock in the morning. So pre-London would be from 2 o'clock. And that's because the time went backwards. Because before, London session was 2 o'clock, and then pre-London was 1. So what I would do is, the earliest I could enter is around like 1 o'clock. That'd be like the best time for me to enter, around 1 o'clock. And then sometimes it would take later than that, but around 1-ish to 2, I would look to get into the trade and then see where it goes, right? Like, you don't want to trade, you don't want to get into the pair, you don't want to get into the trade outside of its session, because usually outside of its session it's going to consolidate, right? And then so you might get into the trade knowing that the direction that you want to trade is correct, but because it's not in the right session, it just keeps consolidating. Maybe it might go higher than where your entry was, and you're looking for a sell, and then now you're getting crushed, and you don't want to get crushed, so you just wait, right? That's the thing about this trading thing. If you're not like patient, you're just gonna get crushed every time. So I come here and I always look just to make sure that the session is correct. So that USD JPY, that one I will trade when we get to like New York session. So right now New York session is starting at 8 a.m. right? So pre New York would be like 7 a.m. So around as long, but there's also volume that's because um like the New York session is the most traded. There's still volume sometimes around like 6 a.m. Right? So and plus, yeah, there's a lot of volume for New York. So, but I still would want to go trade it closer to the time that the session actually starts. Um, and the base is the USD, and then the yen. That one is an Asian session pair. So even in Asian session, it'll probably still move. Um, there's a lot on my mind because when you think about how the pairs move that you're trading, like it's a lot of information that I would have to give. Like you want to trade. The reason why you want to trade pairs in their session is because, for example, in the Asian session, which is from when does it start? It starts from 7 p.m. and it finishes at 4. Is it 4 a.m. now? Yeah, it finishes at 4 a.m. now. One one of the pairs, one part of the pair is asleep at that time, right? Like the yen pair, the yen, one is the base and one is a quote. So USD is the base, and then the quote is the Japanese yen. So the yen, when New York session is on, USD is in session, but yen is not in session. So yen is not moving because that's not the time that their banks are open and all that stuff. So the way that the price is going to move is going to be heavily influenced by the pair, um, by the pair, whether it's the quote or the base that's in session. I hope that makes sense. But oh, I'll send you the. Let me just put the link in the chat. My bad. I gotta look at the chat more, but it's right there. This tells you that because the thing is sometimes you have daylight saving time, and then the time changes. So you just want to make sure that you know the time that you're trading. Okay. Um, other than that, I hope that made sense. I'll probably have to do different videos where I'm breaking different things down that I'm talking about because I tend to just like have a bunch of information in my head and I'm talking about it as if everyone understands what I'm saying, but it's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. It started at 7. um, to end it off, if there's anything that people would like to see me talk about that's different other than Forex, because like I said, I talk about like blockchain and all that kind of stuff, right? So I could get more into those things. Um, right now, if people, I'm pretty sure everyone's aware now that Bitcoin hit 80K. Um, hit 80K. So you're seeing all of the pairs that you look all of the coins that you purchased, say like in when the bear market was at 2022, when Bitcoin fell down to 15K, a lot of the projects that were like quote unquote like dead projects that started just came back from the dead. They're just bouncing back. Um, and we're now officially, based on statistics, we're in like a really strong part of the bull run. Just I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me switch this. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. So this is Bitcoin's chart. This is the super trend indicator. and it measures the trend over 4 days. And if you notice, back when Bitcoin was at 15K, we were bearish all the way down. We broke structure right over here. We broke structure right there. If you don't believe me, I don't know why you wouldn't. Anyways, we had this push down here, push down here. So, right, we had this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher low, and a retest of where we broke structure, and then we got that push up. So from 15K, Bitcoin was sitting at 15K. We got the push up right here, and you see that we super trend indicator turned green. And then when we this is when we hit the we had the Bitcoin halving that was in May. So April, May. Yeah. So Bitcoin halving was right around here. And then we made an all-time high. And then price broke down. And as you can see, it took us about from here when it went bearish, it took about 230 days. 230 days for price to go bullish again. As you see right here, we went back bullish. And then if you check on the MACD, do I have a MACD here? I don't. Let me add it. I only use this when it's like talking about Bitcoin. I'm not really an indicator person, but for crypto, it moves very like super volatile and all around the place. So for that, it's good. So, what did I want to say? Is it the weekly? I think it's the weekly. It is the weekly. Wait, no, it's not. It's the monthly. I'm trying to see. This might be it. Yeah. So in August. Yeah, so this was 2020. In 2020, we had this cross here of the EMAs, and then we had this crazy bull run. And we never got that again until just around here. So now we're kind of going into that like bull run again. So yeah, pretty much like all of the yeah. So now we're entering that point again where all the signs are pointing to us having another bull run. Because this, like when these play out, this is months. Right? Like this is not gonna be like we probably have a year. Hopefully we do of bullish action, which will be good because like I said, a lot of people are holding positions in crypto that we had a bear market and they didn't sell. And this time you have a chance to take profit. So this right here is a good sign that we're going to continue going up, and hopefully it's for at least 2025 if we get a bull cycle. You know, if you look at all the charts right now, coin market cap, everything is green. right? Let me just move out of the way. I didn't even realize I was in the way, y'all. Okay. Yeah, on CoinMarketCap, pretty much like everything is pumping again, and some percentages like that things have gone up is just crazy. But I'm gonna leave it here because I feel like I'm talking too much. I'm gonna start doing this and have a little bit more format to it so that I don't go crazy. I really just want to be on here for 30 minutes. But if it's things that I'm like need more explaining, like I'm giving away some type of like gem or something that can help someone, then I'll probably just do an hour. But you guys can let me know in the comments and stuff like that. Um, it took a while for me to even like build the set the way that I wanted to. And now that I have it, I'm gonna work on doing this live stuff. You know, I think it's fun, and I think I have a lot of information that I could probably help someone. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna end it right here. Let me just get back. Again, thank you. Like and subscribe, and maybe in the comments tell me like maybe ideas of what I can do or kind of information that I could get into that maybe something that you want to know, and we'll just do it like that. We'll do it like that. And we're gonna go off with the sounds again. All right, y'all take care and enjoy the rest of the new week, and happy trading for all my traders out there.